Hey guys, this is Eric, the Unexceptional Rounder, and I make poker videos and put them on YouTube. Right now, I'm going to play 4 live 9-man sit and goes, and these are $12 turbos. I usually play 8 of them at a time, but for the video I'm just going to play 4, and we're going to kind of focus on taking some good notes and using our HUD stats and the stuff we have available when we play less tables. So Jack is an easy raise. Alright, let me go through my HUD, my heads up display. I use Hold'em Manager, and I just added big blinds. So I have M and big blinds. This is pretty helpful when I'm playing a bunch of tables. I'm not particularly great at math, so I need to cheat. 150 looks good here. Alright, so he calls. Not too worried about it. Not particularly worried about the queen either. I'm going to bet a little bit. Bet a little bit bigger. Just I don't want to make a small bet because that's not going to tell me where I'm at. And honestly, I don't know what he could have here that he's calling. Let's just bet 500 and hopefully he'll call with like an 8. Nah, see, that's a bad sign. So it looks like a set. Like he hit a set or somehow turned the queen. But at this point, if he's ever bluffing, this would be a terrible fold, so we kind of have to just give him the rest of our stack, I think. This could be wrong, but it's just one of those spots. Okay, so that's kind of why we have to call there, is because if he's ever making a move, it would be very terrible to fold, and I wish, let's see if we can, here we go, we can make a note on him. Pull this off the screen. Okay, min raise, early position. I'm just going to limp the jack ace, see a flop with it. We could re-raise, but I'm actually just going to call. I've been kind of playing with calling versus raising. Not sure which is better, but I tend to feel that getting all in with ace-king early in sit and goes is generally not great equity-wise. So this note for this guy, I just want to make, he made I'm going to just say that he made a horrible play early. And I'm actually, anybody who has Poker X Factor, I'm going to steal these notes from Beanmo. So, horrible play early. Okay, and we missed with ace-king. And I don't know if we would have taken it down pre-flop if we had raised, but you get into more complicated situations putting a lot of money in with ace-king. 5, so we're up to the 40 level. Don't really like limping in general, so I'm just going to make it 100. Not a full 3x, but I want to be the aggressor. I want to be raising. I don't want to just be limping along. Alright, ace-king again. Here I have no problem making a 3x, and I understand that I'm varying my bets a little bit based on my hand strength. However, I don't think most of these players are going to notice. These are $12 sit and goes, so I'm not too worried about that. So queen 10 and 5-9, not really much to look at there. Only thing I'd like to see is what the pre-flop action was. Okay, so a bunch of people limped. Pretty bad, pretty standard. Alright, ace-king. We got this guy in the hand with us. I'm gonna fold the queen jack. We'll make one C bet. We'll make it like 180, just over half pot, and see if we can take it down. Yeah, he raises. We probably can just check and give up on that spot now that I look at it. There's really no need to C bet as much as you normally would in these, because you just don't have the extra chips. I mean, you do want to C bet good boards, but I mean, I guess I could do a video on it at some point explaining why this is not a good board to C bet, but generally you want to C bet boards that have like a high card and a couple low cards, not 9, 8, 5, which, you know, there's a straight out there. There's 6, 7. When people flat call, they're doing it with pairs a lot, so you're gonna have to worry about sets and draws. Not the worst board to C bet. It's not super wet. There was no flush draw, but it's definitely not the best one to C bet either. My dog is running around my apartment finding everything she can to chew on and then bring over to me. The twos, yeah, we can go ahead and raise this. I don't have a problem with it. Folding it is also fine. Let's see what she's got now. Nothing surprising. Okay. A6 is a very easy fold. Make sure you're making that fold every time. You know, these sit and goes, we want to play very, very tight early. I went through my stats and I was comparing them to some winning player stats that I found, and I was playing too loose early. I found that even though I was only playing like, I think I was playing like 12, 12-10 or something, and I'm still playing about that you really want to be really tight. Your VPIP, you only want to have around 10 for the first, I think like 3 levels. I wrote it down. Kind of wrote down what I saw, which was the 30 to 80 big blinds, you want to be like super tight, 10%. And then, 100 and 120 big blind, you want to still be tight, like 12 to 14%. VPIP, I'm talking voluntarily put money in pot. And then once it gets up to 160, you start ramping up the aggression, 15% on up to, when the blinds get huge, you're looking at over 50%. And, that's when you get into the bubble, and we'll have to go through some bubble stuff because honestly, I'm not quite where I need to be with the bubble work, but I have a pretty good idea of the goal and the ideas behind it, which is you have to be very careful, and you have to call very tight, and you have to push very loose. The bubble, you can very easily get into a spot where calling, four-handed, calling with well under 10 big blinds, and calling with ace-king or ace-queen is a pretty large mistake, which a lot of players don't understand that. And I don't know how often players actually do fold the ace-queen or ace-king. I just see the hands where they make the mistake and call. So king-queen gets there. This is going to be a 2-part video because these take about a half hour if you win. King 10 offsuit again. It's early. We just want to go ahead and fold. There's no need to put money in with marginal hands. And especially at the $12 level, this is really about capitalizing on other people's mistakes. We don't have to, we can actually pass up some thin edges because other people are going to make mistakes that give us a huge edge. Doubling up off of a guy bluffing his stack off with bottom pair, or second and bottom pair, whatever it was, is a huge edge. And getting that just gives us a huge advantage in these tournaments. So when people are making mistakes that large, we don't need to attack every 0.5% edge early in the game. I kind of hope that makes sense. People are going to call us late when we have big hands, and they're going to not push when they should. And hopefully if we play better than them, we'll be picking up a lot of dead money when they're playing too tight, and we'll be getting in with better hands when they're playing too loose. Yeah, so the threes here, and this guy is limping. Once you get to 60, you're kind of putting in not a huge amount of your stack, but a pretty good amount. I'm going to go ahead and call. I do have the button. I've got position. We did manage to get three-handed with two guys that have pretty decent stacks. And now we hit. So let's see if we can get a called 30. So we should make at least. Okay, that's a good start. Ace 4 is an easy fold. Now the question is, do we raise or do we call? There's two flush draws out there, so and our hand's not invincible. So let's go ahead and make it 600. If we take it down now, that's fine. And if they have an ace, they're probably not going to get away if they have any kind of two pair. And I don't think they have King 10, so I think we have the best hand. I don't want to just jam my chips in right away, but we might as well go ahead and jam in. And we get called. I'm guessing we have the best hand. So that is the best case scenario. They and I'm gonna also make a note because that's a pretty bad limp. So let's play our notes again. And I'm gonna call it a late limp. It wasn't really a late limp, but it was kind of a middle limp. And I'll put 60 big blind. I don't think that's going to mean 60. I don't want to confuse that for they had 60 big blinds.